Hey, what is up, my fellow Zillow surfers? In today's video, we're going to be looking at a house in Muncie, Indiana. Now, a lot of times we look at really unique homes that, have a quarry swimming pool in the backyard or are built on a water tower, or we look at some of the most expensive homes in a city, a $180 million house on the beach in San Diego. Well, today, this is just kind of an average suburban house. This house is in Muncie, Indiana. Asking $220,000. It's located at 725 East Jackson Street in Muncie, Indiana. 47305. It's 3 bedrooms, 2,374 square feet, 2 bathrooms, and really cute house, nice porch. The inside is nice. It looks like it's in a nice neighborhood on a nice street. Recently had a $10,000 price cut. This home is pending, so it actually does have a contract for sale. We'll see if it goes through or not, but the point of this video is, there are still affordable homes out there. Now, even homes in Muncie, Indiana have gone up quite a bit over the last 5 years, 7 years, just like everywhere else in the country. But you hear a lot of people who live in high cost of living areas, Los Angeles, San Diego, Boise, Idaho, Austin, Texas, pretty much anywhere in Florida, all up and down the East Coast, Boston. People are like, I'll never, ever, ever be able to afford a home. And a lot of these people earn good livings, but they still feel like they'll never be able to own a home. You could make 6 figures. Your wife could make 6 figures. You're pulling in $250,000 a year, but homes are so expensive in your area that you'll never, ever be able to own a single family home. Maybe a townhome, maybe a condo's within the realm of possibility, but you want to be a homeowner, you want to own a single family home. And there are still places in the country where you can do this. I realize Indiana's not super sexy to a lot of people, but when you see this home and see what $220,000 gets you, maybe it makes Muncie, Indiana seem a little bit more interesting. I mean, it's not a one-horse town. It's not like there's nothing to do here. And you're about an hour and 5 minutes outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. So, that would be a fairly long commute. But Muncie does have industry. Indianapolis has legit jobs. But you know what? You don't even need to live in Muncie, Indiana. I mean, I think I did a video of the Chicago suburbs the other day, and under 400,000, there was a home in a suburb called Naperville, which has 3-4 times been voted the #1 place to live. So I'm not saying $375,000 is cheap, but it's not $1 million. It's not $2 million. There are still affordable homes out there. And if you're willing to go to kind of like B or C tier city, you don't need to be in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. There are some pretty sweet homes out there. We'll probably do some more videos like this because I think a lot of people are going to find Chicago to be a slightly more attractive market than Muncie, Indiana or Indianapolis, Indiana. And there are single-family homes you can get in Chicago suburbs for maybe not quite this $220,000 price range, but not a whole lot more. $240,000, $250,000, $270,000. You can get yourself definitely a livable, pretty nice home in the Chicago suburbs to where you could have a job in Chicago, commute to Chicago on the Metro train, and it wouldn't be that bad. I'll show you guys some photos when we talk a little bit about Muncie, Indiana. Muncie, Indiana is a mid-sized Midwestern city, population of around 65,000 residents. It's in east central Indiana, and it was initially a farming and trading settlement, but it grew with the discovery of natural gas in the 1880s and the establishment of the Ball Brothers Glass Company. I believe they make the mason jars. Today it's known as a college town around Ball State University and has a regional hub for healthcare and education with job opportunities in those sectors, alongside ongoing industrial revitalization. The city also gained cultural significance as the setting of the classic sociological studies known as Middletown, which track trends in quintessential American life. Interesting thing about Muncie and the job market. A lot of people, if you are going to live in a smaller town, a lot of people like living in a college town because college towns, as opposed to a non-college, if you take 2 towns, one's a college town, one's not a college town, and they're not necessarily the biggest towns out there. College towns are going to get good bands because college students like seeing live music. You are going to have good comedians coming in town. You have college sports. A lot of times, because college students stay up late and party, you are going to have restaurants and nightlife and things that are going to stay open later into the evening. So you can live in a smaller sized town and still have a lot of the culture and nightlife and shopping and a lot of the other things that you want to have. If you are an entrepreneur or a business person, college towns oftentimes lead to a lot of good business opportunities. If you wanted to open a bar or a hookah shop or a head shop or a restaurant or something else. Let's talk about a couple of interesting things about Muncie, Indiana. Middletown, USA. In the 1920s, sociologists Robert and Helen Lynn studied Muncie as a representative of a typical American city. Their books, Middletown, written in 1929, and Middletown in Transition, made the city a focal point of cultural analysis. Ball Brothers, Philanthropy, and Beneficence statue. The Ball Brothers, whose glass company became Ball Corporation, greatly shaped Muncie's civic institutions. Their legacy is honored with the iconic Beneficence statue on Ball's campus, dedicated in 1937. Bob Ross and the Joy of Painting. Muncie boasts a major pop culture connection. Bob Ross broadcast his PBS painting show from WIPB in Muncie between 1984 and 1994, so had a 10-year run in Muncie, Indiana. The origin of the Muncie 4-speed transmission. Car enthusiasts recognize the name. GM's high-performance Muncie 4-speed manual transmission was developed and produced in the city and equipped muscle cars like Corvettes and Camaros in the 1960s and 1970s. And early NFL roots with the Muncie Flyers. Muncie was home to one of Indiana's earliest professional football teams, the Muncie Flyers, who played in the NFL's initial seasons around 1920 and 1921. And a bonus, a number of famous creatives have ties here. David Letterman studied at Ball State. Jim Davis, creative of Garfield, taught here. And there are murals and visible nods across town commemorating their contributions. So let's see what $220,000 in Muncie, Indiana gets you. Built in 1890, so an old home, 8,700 square foot lot, decent sized lot. What's unique about this home? Double vanities, detailed woodwork, gingerbread trimmed porch, elegant spaces, oversized window, black and brass finishes, and soaring ceilings. This home's going to cost you $1,331 per month to own. You know, most of these most expensive homes, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year. Let's look at the property history, because we'll see what this was selling for. So, you know, again, the cost of property has exploded everywhere. Maybe this property got a facelift or something, but this sold for $119,900 back in 2020. So they're basically asking $100,000 more than you could have bought it 5 years ago. So yeah, that is frustrating to a lot of people, but still, $220,000 for a home this nice in a halfway decent sized city, not too far outside of a city like Indianapolis isn't a bad bargain. In 2024, the property taxes were $989, so property taxes aren't bad at all. Let's read about this property. Welcome to this jaw-dropping 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath Victorian stunner in the heart of the Emily Kimbrough Historic District. This isn't just a house, it's a conversation starter, a time capsule, and a total head turner. With all the right updates, let's talk charm, gingerbread trim porch, soaring ceilings, arched doorways, and detailed woodwork. Now let's talk updates. The exterior walls have been rebuilt and new siding added, plus the plumbing, electrical, sprinkler system, water heater, and HVAC. With some new ductwork, updated for modern living inside. You'll find elegant spaces that blend history with a fresh, timeless palette, gleaming hardwood floors, statement chandeliers, and oversized windows that flood every room with natural light. The full bath is straight out of a boutique hotel with double vanities, black and brass finishes, and custom wood cabinet that belongs on a Pinterest board. Upstairs, spacious living landing leads to a peaceful bedroom. Every inch is thoughtfully designed and lovingly restored. Sitting on a corner just blocks from downtown Muncie, this home is part of Indiana's most treasured historic neighborhoods. From front porch swings to local festivals, you'll fall in love with the home and the lifestyle and surprise your own backyard sauna. So let's take a look at this. So just really beautiful. I will tell you, this home in my city, which is part of the Chicago suburbs, this home would easily go for $800,000, possibly like 1.2, 1.3 million. This is a very, very nice home. If it were in the North Shore of Chicago, it would go for several $million. It's just going to cost you $220,000 in Indiana. I like these really tall windows. We got the flower boxes outside the windows. Yard is well maintained. You see like the detailed woodwork along the roof. Nice little covered porch area there. Beautiful siding. Got the front porch, got the flower pots hanging. This looks like a kid's bedroom. Again, you see these floor-to-ceiling windows. Got the nice ceiling fan, same kid's bedroom. Got a closet. Good-sized bedroom. Looks like this is another bedroom. Love the windows there. Yeah, these are good-sized bedrooms, especially for an older home. Another bedroom. You got kind of got a big landing up at the top of the stairs. Beautiful tub, right? I see what they mean by kind of like a little bit of new, a little bit of old. This kind of reminds me of like Boardwalk Empire or something like that. That kind of like 1920s feel with the brass vanity and the black there. It looks like the shower is in there. That's kind of cute, and you got all the storage by the shower. Very, very cool bathroom. Okay, we got a washer dryer, little toilet room. Might be a little bit claustrophobic in that little toilet room. Nice staircase. We kind of got the arched doorways, fireplace, nice chandeliers, family room or living room, I guess. Little dining area. We got a nice kitchen. Like the exposed brick there. Cool cabinets. Okay, and outside you got a sauna. This looks like you fit 3-4 people in a sauna, good-sized sauna. I was actually recently looking into kind of pricing out saunas. A sauna like this would probably run you on the low end $5,000, on the high end $15,000. I mean, you could even spend $30,000 on a sauna. I'm gonna say this is probably a $20,000 to $30,000 sauna in the backyard. Nice little sitting area by a fire pit. Very cool house. Okay, I actually really like this one. Let me know what you guys think about this home. I think right now with where the real estate market is, it's unfortunate, right? Like it kind of stinks that you grow up in a city, and because you grew up in a high cost of living city, you can't buy a home and live near family and friends, right? Like it sucks. Like even where I grew up, like the city I grew up in was pretty nice. And I would have loved to have bought a home in my city because, you buy your first home, you're proud of it, you want to invite your friends and family and stuff over. And I couldn't buy a home in my city, but I could buy a city over from my city, and that's ultimately what I wound up doing. I moved in, a couple buddies with me, did the whole house hacking thing. I was able to kind of entertain. My house was close enough that I could go out to the bars, run into, friends from high school and college, and hey, let's go back to my place to party, and it wasn't too far of a drive. But it really does stink if your choice is live where you grew up, or move across the country to a cheaper city to be able to afford a home. But ultimately, that's the reality. And if home ownership is important to you, it might involve you needing to move to a city like this. In terms of salaries and things like that, if you're in San Diego and you and your wife are both making $100,000 a year, you might never be able to own a home. But if you guys were to move to the Midwest, Chicago, even a city like Muncie, Indiana, your salary's probably not going to take that big of a hit. Maybe instead of making $100,000 a year, you're going to make $75,000 a year. You're taking a $25,000 price cut or a 25% price cut. But homes are going to be more than 25% cheaper, right? That house in San Diego that would have cost you $1.5 million, it's only going to cost you $220,000 here. So if homeownership is important, I would look to some cities like this. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about this home? Again, this one is $220,000, located at 725 East Jackson Street in Muncie, Indiana. 3 beds, 2 baths, 2,374 square feet, and very low property taxes. Let me know what you guys think about this property. Drop a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below and ring the bell to be notified of future Zillow surfing videos. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.